Hey guys, Dave here from BOgear, and I've just come back from a trip with my bike down to Melbourne, and so I thought I would take the time to show you how I've packed my bike and a couple of little tips and tricks I've had along the way, just to make sure that my bike gets to and from my destination in one piece. So I'll just quickly go through a couple of things. I'll open it up. And there we go, open it up like so. So the first thing, once we've got it open, that you'll notice is we have lots and lots of zip ties, zip straps, depending on where you're from, what you call them. But basically the whole point of these is to hold everything together and just keep it secure, just so it doesn't move around. Like that's a little bit loose, it's already rattled loose because I've come back from my destination, so it gets a little bit loose during flight. But essentially, most damage I've found doesn't actually come from the baggage gorillas throwing stuff around, but actually comes from vibrations and rattling during transport. So the big tip, and I'll say this again later on, is always use zip ties or some sort of way just to hold everything together nice and securely, just to make sure it's nice and tight. So you'll notice that I've got zip ties holding things together. Other big thing is I have little protective guards on the ends of the axles. Now technically you can run the axles all the way to the end to get a big surface area just so it doesn't poke a hole in your bag. But if you can get your hands on these little puppies, they're brilliant, they're absolutely fantastic. Just distributes that surface area a little bit more and protects your bag. The other thing you'll notice is that I have dropout protectors on the rear and also the front here. So these dropout protectors basically, well, spacers I guess, just basically protect the frame from being smidged, it's a word, smidged during transport. And you'll see that I've got tape on it as well, and that basically means that it stops it pulling out and holds it in place there. And so that's both on front and rear. Now, because I'm technically a lazy guy when it comes to packing, I didn't actually remove my chain, but what I did do was I wrapped it around my chainring just so there was no spiky bits to poke through the bag and destroy your bag. Destroy a bag. So as you can see, I've wrapped the chain around and I've zip tied that actual chain to the frame just so it's not going anywhere and there's no sharp bits to damage anything. Another thing you'll note is I have a lot of bags. I've got bag 1, bag 2, bag 3 and bag 4 interspersed throughout. And so this is where I actually put all my stuff so I can just use carry-on luggage onto the actual airplane. So this is where I put all my clothes and my bike kit and all that sort of stuff. So I only have that one bag. So this bag here is the outer packing cell for the bike bag. And so in here I have all my little bike paraphernalia. So I've got my D-lock, I've got my keys, I've got my lights, and I also actually happen to have my, my pedals in there. Just all in that one little case. And I generally tend to keep it at the back here just because that's where all the grease and gunk is, and I don't mind if that one gets dirty. And now I've got 2 bags at the front here, and so these are basically just super simple stuff sacks. And so I'll keep my clothes in. So I've got my clothes, dirty clothes in this bag here, and you'll see that it's actually tied in like so and then just wedged in. It actually has a little tie-in point here, so if I wanted to I could again zip strap it down. The zip straps are awesome. Zip strap it down just so it doesn't go anywhere. And then I've got another bag here which is zip strapped at the top and also tied at the bottom, which has got some clean clothes, the only few remaining clean clothes that I have. And then the final one is my toolkit. I've got my toolkit here, which is tied down to my stem into the tyre, tube, bike wheel just there, just so it doesn't move around. So you can put padding, so put little cases like that in and amongst everything just to stop it moving around, to stop it rattling around, to fill up spaces. But you can also add it onto the outside here like so, just so it gives you extra padding for the bike during transport. The other thing you'll notice is I have my beer nuts on the frame here, just to protect it just that little bit more. So the beer nuts have the extra padding, just stops things getting scraped against, rubbed against. If you don't want to use a beer nut, you can get tubing. So tubing just like this, padded tubing, insul zip. There we go, insulated tubing, and run that across your tubes as well, and zip strap it down. So extra protection. Now the final thing that you'll note is that the wheels themselves actually sit lower than the frame. And so the reason for this is when you put your bag down upright, the weight is borne on the wheels rather than the frame itself. So it'll actually protect the stem, it'll protect the top tube, and also protect the seat tube where your seat goes in, so it just doesn't get pinched and broken. And so that's pretty much it. Again, number one tip, zip straps, zip straps, zip straps, zip straps, zip straps. So I'm Dave from BOgear, and I hope that this made sense, and a couple of tips and tricks that I've showed here really help you out in making sure that your bike arrives safe at the destination. Number one tip again, zip ties. Use lots and lots of zip ties. Cool, bye. Lots and lots of zip ties. Zip ties! They're everywhere. Get freaking awesome!